Hello, welcome to HCC MovieMakers Academy Movie Reviews. We're brought to you by the Houston Community College MovieMakers Academy. I'm Erik Calderon.
I'm Fabian Brims. And, oh yeah, my job. We watched The Free State of Jones, the new movie with Matthew McConaughey.
Keep it fast and you stay close to me.
Stay behind!
They're poor farmers, deserters,
Who, frankly, sir, don't have much to lose.
The winds is shifting. And you can't fight it this time.
There's plenty left to fight for.
So this movie is basically a Civil War movie, like the real Civil War, not the Marvel one. And it's about a guy, a poor farmer, who's coming back from the front lines after his son died. And at home he realizes that the Confederate Army does mainly raiding the farms and stealing the crops and the pigs and leave the farmers with literally nothing to eat. And he is uprising against that and starts like some kind of mini revolution in this little county, Jones County. That's why it's the Free State of Jones.
We declare the land north of Pascagoula Swamp to be a free state of Jones.
Which is what they start there. And I think they start like the first mixed race community in the United States with like people with equal rights there in the middle of the South. And that was actually a quite interesting story.
Yeah, it felt more like a documentary than a
At times, yeah,
a film.
definitely. Especially when they used like in the middle and in the end like these real photos of the time and of the main guy who was played by Matthew McConaughey. That like he really looked like him too. Like they did a good job with the makeup. And definitely
directed by Gary Ross.
Okay.
Yep. And then the film was budgeted at $50 million, shot on an Arri Alexa, so it's all digital. But I think they must have used several different cameras. But it was shot mostly in Louisiana, and I think they maybe had one location actually in Jones County, Mississippi.
Okay.
A lot of plantations in Louisiana. What else? It's 2 hours and 18 or 19 minutes. It's a long movie.
One thing though, I mean, they shot it in Louisiana, but Jones County is based in Mississippi, if I remember right. And I mean, that's pretty, like, I think the nature is almost the same there.
Yeah.
I think it's just cheaper to shoot in Louisiana these days. They have good tax cuts.
Yeah, they have great tax breaks, I thought, I enjoyed the film. I personally enjoyed it because it was like you're learning something. That's based on a true story. And I thought it was interesting. It did kind of, in the beginning, it starts off like a film, like a narrative. You feel like it's a narrative. And then it just kind of pops into the future. Remember, it pops into the future like 83 years later, which didn't make sense anyways, but because that was the son, right? Oh, no, that was the great-grandson or something like that.
I think it was the son, though.
No, I think it was the great-grandson because he was like 1/8. Supposedly he was 1/8 black.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah, you're right.
So, but then that kind of pulled me out of the like movie mode and into more like a documentary about what really happened.
Yeah. So the first time they cut into this 83 years later narrative, it was very confusing. It was a really break. In hindsight, looking back in the movie, I think it made sense for the story because it really like finalizes the whole tale of that civil rights fighter, and also tells you that this whole fight wasn't over with the end of the Civil War. Like in fact, like that's when the struggle began for many. Like when the Ku Klux Klan rose and all those things. So many problems came back then.
It's funny though that because I didn't like the ending at all. I mean, you said it come together. I thought it was like it didn't have a punch at the end. It wasn't like an ending. And I guess that's what you liked about it, right?
I kind of did, and I really like, as I just said, like I think with the great-grandson and his story, I think that was kind of like not a punch like you said, but it kind of like, it's tough to find the right words for it, but I think it made sense to me.
Yeah, Yeah, and then as I was walking out of the movie theater, you know, we watch these movies with a bunch of movie critics. Like that's all. They're the only people in there are movie critics because it's a press screening. and as I was walking out, a lot of people were kind of complaining it was too slow. But I enjoyed that slowness. I think the way the director and the cinematographer used the camera and the way they chose the different lenses and the angles and then the music. I think those slow scenes to me were not slow at all. I mean, I enjoyed them. It built up some suspense for me, you know.
That also reminds me, like I have like two comparisons for that movie, like two films that come in mind when I watched it. Like one thing is The Patriot with Mel Gibson.
Yeah, that was a good
That's
film.
like story-wise very similar because he also like starts this uprising.
Yeah.
And when you compare those films, like The Patriot is more like the clean Hollywood movie where everyone has like a clean face and clean teeth and clean uniforms.
Yeah.
And this one is really gritty. Like it really looks like back then how it was. Like there are many bodies on the floor during the fight scenes, and then later on the farms, like there's no one like looking pretty. Even like
Did you notice Matthew McConaughey's teeth?
Yeah.
They
like,
were all brown. You know?
Yeah,
They
no, like
painted
the
the
beard
teeth.
was patchy and hair was fatty and everything, greasy, like like. And the second movie that came to mind was like I think 2-3 years ago, like 12 Years a Slave.
Yeah.
And that would be the one I suggest for watchers if they rather want like a wholesome story, like more something, even though it's 12 years, like it's more of a compact story and more like on point, versus the Free State of Jones I felt is more like flowing a little bit. And as you said, like the director really like took a slow pace, but I really did enjoy that because it really wasn't. And then again, like what you said, like it really was more like a documentary feature versus giving the people what they want. Like for example, like in the scenes with the Ku Klux Klan, I would have loved to see that someone gets like some payback or something, or like when this, like there was this one scene, without giving spoilers away, one character gets like lynched by a mob.
Yeah.
And then later on we know exactly who it was because he's eating those peanuts and everything. And you would have loved to see this guy storming at him and punching him, but it just wouldn't be realistic because obviously the Klan people are the majority and there's like no way to pay them back or something. So I would say it's like a very hyper-realistic film in that matter because it's really like not serving the audience's needs and really like tells the story pretty much as it was. I would say it's, without knowing how the time back then was, I would say it's pretty accurate how they portrayed the time in the late 19th century.
You know, I enjoyed, my favorite scene in the film was when they're in the, I forgot his name. Well, when Matthew McConaughey, I forgot the character's name. Knight, Mr. Knight, yes.
I forgot his first name though.
Yeah, well,
Mr. Knight.
We should remember that. So, my favorite scene was when he goes to help the girl that they're going to take the pigs from and the corn and all that stuff, and he gets the guns out, and then he puts the brooms up in the house, and he gets the little girls to hold the gun, and he says, last I looked, it doesn't matter who pulls the trigger.
Yeah, that is a great line.
Girls, you know how to shoot one of these?
It's quite normal you got there.
Last time I checked, the gun don't care who's pulling the trigger.
And then he does, this is how easy it is to shoot a gun. Yeah. I like that scene a lot. That was a really good scene.
Yeah, that scene is actually also in the trailer, and that probably was the one when I want to see that.
I think that's like the climax. For me, that's like the climax, or how do you say? You have scene one is the setup.
The 3 acts?
You have the 3 acts, right? You have scene one, setup, conflict, resolution. I think that is the point where we go from scene 1 to scene 2.
But see, this is exactly the thing. I don't think the movie follows that law because it really
towards the end,
it like sometimes and often, like even if it's based on a true story, people tweak those stories in order to serve those 3 act structure. And I think the director here did it not as stringent as other people. Like he really like rather let the thing go and it's like not nowhere, but like on just a later point in his life. And there were also like, for example, what we haven't mentioned yet, there were like many little like lower thirds and little writings that gave you the context of the time. So okay, Civil War is over, but this happens now and everything. And especially for me, not growing up here in the United States, it helped me a lot because I didn't get all that history.
And that's what made it feel like a documentary.
Exactly. It was very, very authentic and gave you the whole background of the time. And I talked to a friend and he didn't like it with the whole background because he had it in school.
Yeah.
But for me, it was really helpful. So I guess it's like whoever you can't serve both parties in that case.
So would you recommend this film for people to go watch it?
I would totally recommend this movie, especially if you're into history, if you're into the American Civil War, if you like interested in a movie where black people are portrayed in a realistic way and not just the Uncle Tom thing.
Yeah.
I really liked it. Like if you like authentic movies and good acting, good lines, that's definitely will please you.
I would totally recommend this film, especially if you're into culture and history. And it's a good film. Matthew McConaughey's, he's like always a winner, And well, I'll go ahead and close us out. Thank you for watching our awesome HCC MovieMakers Academy movie review of Free State of Jones with Matthew McConaughey, directed by Gary Ross. And
don't forget to subscribe on our YouTube channel.
Yes, subscribe.
And also you will see here the phone number. I'm call Erik Nitzberg. Sign up for the HCC Filmmaker program and join us.
Be a student again.
All right. Thanks for watching and see you next time.